Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, Jewelry Forever at jewelryforever.ca, and Beautified by Romina. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
Our guests will know why I did that song.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 272. I think 272. We're not live, which is why we're not sure because we're pre-taping this. But I think it's 272. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, the one, the only Scott Dion Brown, joined by the greatest co-host in all the galaxy. The one, the only.
Regine Alaina. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy June. Hope you're all enjoying I'm putting it out there that today is going to be a beautiful day. The sun is out. It's officially
gorgeous
summer.
out there. It's gorgeous
officially
out there.
Summer. So I'm going to take it.
Oh, is this like it just became summer?
Yeah.
Oh, according
the 23rd of June. Yes, it is officially summer.
Happy summer to you all.
Yes.
It's a beautiful day, and
Where are
we're not
you in
live.
the world?
We're not live because I am. I'll tell you guys when I'm back.
Yeah.
But I'm off.
He's
in
on
Europe.
summer vacay right
Actually, no, wait. Right now, I think I'm at a wedding.
now. Oh, congratulations to whoever's getting married.
Yeah, I'm at a wedding. So
Well, it's my husband's birthday, so happy birthday.
happy birthday! All those things, all the
So
celebrations.
it kind of worked out because I wouldn't be on the show anyway. So there we are.
Yep. Well, how was your week, Regine? I know we're pre-taping, but whatever. We're in the past. How was your week?
Week, good. Week has been good so far. No complaints. Work's busy, but that means I have a job, so I really can't complain.
Good stuff.
Yes, and pageant season is in full force, as I've mentioned previously. So that is also keeping me very, very busy.
Wonderful.
How about you?
Busy as well. Last night, or I guess yesterday, it's in the future for you guys, but yesterday the Scott Dion Brown Band took the stage at the Unionville Fest, played 3 hours of music. It was good. It was good. We played last year, but last year our spot was over by the Calabria Bakery, and it's kind of off to off to the side a little bit. Like there's the main area.
Hidden.
Yeah, it was nice in that there's seating and but you wouldn't necessarily know we're there unless you happen to just walk there. Where we were yesterday, we were like right on the main street. So from the very before we even were set up, while we were setting up, people were gathering already. And I was like, oh man. But it was great. So thank you so much to the Unionville Festival for having us. It was some good stuff. Let's bring in our guest.
Yes, let's do it.
Because I think we got a lot to talk about. I'm excited.
I'm excited. I have not seen our guest in over a year now, at a mutual friend's wedding that I didn't even know were mutual friends.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, here, you introduce him.
So our guest is an incredible musician, an incredible singer. He is also an actor. He has his own podcast and is a WrestleMania fanatic, which is why Scott is so excited to have him here. He is the one, the only Lex Tan.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. And you also, did you mention he's also the host of his own
His own podcast.
That is a wrestling focused podcast.
A wrestling-focused podcast radio show. It's actually broadcasting every week on Saga 960 AM over in Mississauga, and it's called Ringside Heat. We talk about wrestling on the major league levels of, for instance, WWE, AEW, but we also talk about wrestling on the independent level. So a lot of the a lot of my friends in the wrestling industry here are actually in Oshawa, and I get to hang out with them and call their matches, and hopefully,
cool.
Hey, one day maybe I'll take over Michael Cole's job over at WWE.
He's coming for you.
That's sweet.
That's right. Love you, Michael Cole, but I want your job.
I'm coming for you.
So our show is Sunday at 11 a.m. Yours is Sunday at 7 p.m.
Yes, it is.
See, I did my research.
So later on today, you're watching this show now.
Yeah.
Get ready, 7 o'clock.
Make sure you tune in.
For at 7 p.m. So you taking some of the local stuff? Because I've been going to, are you familiar with Greektown Wrestling? Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've got a lot of friends who actually have started to get into the Greektown wrestling circles and
cool.
everything. So,
Sweet.
yeah.
My brother was an aspiring wrestler at one point. I know he wants to go back into the gym and get going again. The one in Mississauga. I don't remember what it's called.
I believe that one, the famous one over there is called Battle Arts.
That one.
Yes, that's the one, because that was famous because it was started by former WWE wrestler Santino Marella, whose real name is Anthony Corelli, worked for Sportsnet, but now is working with TNA Wrestling as their director of operations. That's his role.
Cool.
Yeah, so my brother went there. I know he wants to go back. Maybe by the time this airs, he's already registered.
Nice.
Who knows?
So there's part of me that's curious.
You should do it.
I kind of want to try.
Why not? Would you ever?
I would definitely want to get into the ring and learn the ropes and learn the craft, because I would be able to improve my own commentary from that perspective, and I'll be able to help tell the stories of those wrestlers in the ring even better.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Because the amazing thing, I've always found it more impressive. Some people who anytime you tell somebody you're into wrestling, they're, it's fake, right? Right? It's always what they say. And it's yeah, so is everything, okay? Your favorite show, those aren't real swords, you know what I mean?
What? No.
But it's I find it more impressive, some of the things these guys do, and they're not actually hurting each other. You know what I mean? These guys, I went to the Greektown Wrestling event just last month or whenever it was.
Yes.
Guy leaps. I'm watching it in person, especially when you see it in person and you can actually hear the thumps and everything. But seeing a guy leap off of the top of the cage onto another guy, and it looks like it hurts, and we're all acting in our minds and totally bought into the idea that yes, this is awesome. But also I'm wow, they're just that good that they're not actually killing each other.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I think that takes a lot more skill than to actually fight somebody. I don't know if you've seen that clip, I'm pretty sure you have, of Shelton Benjamin from, this is 20 years ago or something like that, on WWE Raw. He jumps off of the top rope, nearly 3/4 away across the ring. Shawn Michaels gets up and super kicks him in flight.
Yes, I've seen that one,
flight. Yeah, so, and you can hear Jerry the King Lawler and JR just mind blown while on commentary. And that is, and the fact that it looks like Shelton Benjamin just got whacked in the face with a boot, but didn't, and it looked so good. And
they nail it every time.
Yeah, exactly. And they're healthy. And I met Shelton actually just a couple of weeks ago over at Destiny World Wrestling. They had a show in Oshawa, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I talked to Matt Riddle. That was fun. But I got the chance to shake his hand. But I admired the fact that was 20 years ago. 20 some odd years ago. He's still on the scenes. He's still making a lot of good money, because there's a lot of good wrestling companies out there willing to pay for the money to get people to come to their shows. And he is phenomenal in the ring. He stays phenomenal in the ring, in phenomenal shape, and hasn't lost a step. And he's been in this business. He had 2 decades more.
It's amazing. Yeah. In fact, you're a good person to ask this, because I'm kind of a new fan. As a kid, I was into it a little bit, but it wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't one of the things that I routinely followed. But my brother has really helped me. I've been getting into it a lot more in the past year. And I'm not sure if it's just because now I'm paying attention, but it feels like wrestling is really big right now. Can you talk about a little bit? Am I just imagining it? Am I biased, or is it like
Because you're part of that fan base?
Just because now that I'm obviously paying attention, but I'm just trying. It feels like it's kind of everywhere in a way that maybe it wasn't. Am I imagining that, or do you find that to be the case?
I don't think you're imagining that at all. I think you're actually pretty spot on with your assessment of it. And like you, I actually didn't get into wrestling I wasn't into wrestling when I was a kid. I got into it as an adult as I studied acting, and I studied music, and I studied how to put together shows. And I thought how phenomenal it is that these people all together are putting together this live show, no retakes, no cuts, no anything. It's just go boom, 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 and you're on the air. You go and you're off the air 2 hours, 3 hours later, and it just flows, right?
Yeah.
And in terms of the cultural impact of it, there was a big cultural impact back in the 90s and the 2000s when you had stars like Stone Cold Steve Austin and of course Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah, the Attitude Era.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. Yeah. And I remember that that one of my co-hosts over at Ringside Heat, John Dawson, we actually got a chance to talk to the guy who booked a lot of those shows at the time for WWE and WCW, Vince Russo. And he was even surprised himself how much wrestling was ingrained in the culture, especially when he would go to Disneyland and go with his kids and he would see Austin 316 shirts everywhere.
Wow.
And it's and of course, Dwayne, like just the way that he's been able to shape his career in wrestling, outside of wrestling, and be able to bring it all back. Because one thing that Dwayne does is that he learns so quickly. He learns so much from each industry that he's been in. He'll take those lessons from wrestling into his action movies. And then when he knows from Hollywood and learns from Hollywood, he takes that, brings it into the WWE when he's able to get back. And I think one of the best ways that you can actually see how much he has been able to influence the wrestling industry is through what we're seeing today. Like the immediate effects of it are today, for instance, with Roman Reigns being the tribal chief and becoming and holding on to a championship for 1,316 days.
Yep.
And finding new ways to just keep that character fresh and make sure that people see that. And it's see him being a bad guy, such a good bad guy.
Yes.
They have no choice. They have a choice, but they feel that they need to be able to raise their ones to the sky and acknowledge their tribal chief.
Yep.
In the same way that Dwayne, he was so good at trash talking, he was so entertaining that people wanted to sing along with his trash talk and be able to say, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking," even though he would cut them off and say, "No, this isn't sing along with The Rock. Only The Rock has the honor of saying is cooking," and stuff like that,
Yeah. Heel Rock is awesome.
Yes.
I mean, I think he's the best on the mic, I think, ever. I don't know if he's my favorite anyway. I just think the way he can you just can't stop listening to him when he wants to, when he gets up there. It's unbelievable.
Exactly, and we saw that especially these past 4 months. From January to WrestleMania, when he came back and actually became part of the storylines. And what was phenomenal about that was that it wasn't a nostalgia act.
No.
It could have been a nostalgia act. It could have been just like hit your top tens, your layeth the smacketh downs, and your Rudy Poos and all that sort of stuff, right? But it was he evolved his character. He eventually learned how to evolve his character as it went along, and he contributed even more to what was going on. And was even phenomenal about that is that all of those elements, bad guys or heels, good guys, baby faces, all came together in order to make this amazing moment in WrestleMania, where I was able to go to WrestleMania this year in Philadelphia, my first one. It is everything that you think it is and more, honestly.
Man.
And that last 5 minutes with Rock's cousins, Rock's cousins running in, and then Cena running in, Rock coming in, Seth Rollins trying to take trying to take out Roman Reigns and The Rock, and boom, he gets taken out. And then the Undertaker, the gong goes off, and then like the entire 72,000 people in Lincoln Financial Field, and it's an open air stadium. Football stadium. It was deafening once that gong went off. Didn't even play the music. It was lights went off, gong, and then just that it was deafening in open air stadium.
Wow.
And then when Cody finally won the championship, it was like it was just such a cathartic moment for wrestling fans because they've been telling us this story, and for years, and even Triple H the year before basically said, trust us, we know we can hear what you want, trust us.
It was unbelievable. In fact, and it's funny because when I was getting into it right around that time. Basically, I started getting into it in December. There was the WWE Holiday Tour in Toronto.
Yes.
So so my brother had bought tickets, so I went with him, and I'm like, this was my first time ever seeing wrestling live, and I'm like, it was amazing. Like, I was just like, I've never been to a live event that it pulls the crowd interaction out of you, so like you want to cheer and you want to boo, like pretty much constantly.
Exactly.
So I was kind of mesmerized by it. But then I remember it was through that whole period where I remember hearing like, oh, The Rock's coming back, and then he announced he's coming back, and then initially it was like everybody was being like, oh, he's on the board, and oh, he's literally like putting his own career over WWE and ruining the storyline, and he's ruining it. That was the criticism at first.
Yep.
Right. And it's like, oh, and then they kind of played into that and made it like, no, he's bad guy Rock now. And then that became the whole story. Like, do you think, I don't know if you know or if you've heard any of this, is like, was it something like, because initially he came in and they announced like, it won't be you, Cody, at WrestleMania. It's going to be, right? It's like Cody's going to step aside, and people are like, oh my gosh, they're ruining Cody's. He's not going to get to finish his story. But then suddenly, obviously, Cody did get to finish his story. Do you think that was always the plan, or do you think they were gauging it based off like how negative that reaction was initially? What do you think?
I think that WWE thinks in degrees in this wrestling industry and in entertainment, really, and entertainment, in ways that wrestling fans typically don't view it. Because we see what we see, and that's something that's something that we're allowed to see. But what's going on behind the scenes, we don't know. Triple H, who is the chief content officer of WWE, basically he's the guy that's running the stories right now that are happening at WWE.
Yeah.
Newsflash: it's story, it's entertainment.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's. I'm sure that once that happened, I'm sure he had this one plan with Cody, and then here comes The Rock, and then all those, and then there's ideas that come in, and they had to find a way to live gauge the crowd through their TV tapings and their live shows, and as well to their live events without the cameras going and everything, and seeing what would work best. And I think that it was maybe more of a game time decision than we probably think it is. At the same time, I think it might have actually been planned to be this way a little bit more than we think it is as well. So it's very mysterious. I don't know, but I just love the fact that there's this embarrassment of riches with the wrestling industry, especially with WWE where it's at right now, that their success is the success of everybody else going down the line, all the way down to the independent scene. I think the independent scene is as strong as it has ever been, and it's because, as you said, the WWE is experiencing this boom period that it hasn't seen since the 90s. So,
So I guess it makes sense. It's probably why I got swept up in it.
Yeah.
In fact,
I didn't realize that you were only in this for the last 4 months, or 6 months now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much December. Like, I remember, I wasn't really following it that closely, but my brother had started to send me things. He was like, here, watch this YouTube video, and it'd be like, it's like a highlight video of like all the storyline of the bloodline over the last
that's the one.
year.
Yeah, I saw that one.
and so I'm like, oh. So then you go back. So I'm going back and started learning about all these people, right? And then I remember when at the holiday tour one in December.
Yes.
Right. So Sami Zayn came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Cody was there. Except I didn't know. I knew nothing about Cody at that time. So I was like, oh, that's neat. You know. But it's so funny how like now that I know who they are, I realize how much more all those matches meant. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You kind of, because the story is really the thing. Like if you don't know the whole storyline, the matches are still fun and it's still impressive to watch, but it's more about knowing, the appeal for me at least is like knowing what they mean, like what's actually happening, and oh yeah, this guy did this to this person and that's why they're doing this. And in fact, we should bring you up to speed as well, Regine.
It's okay.
Well, just because we've been talking about
No,
it.
I'm good. I'm good.
Well,
I'm
no.
good.
So basically, what's happened since?
No, it's okay.
Well, no, but also for our viewers as well. So what happened was The Rock, you know The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Maui, yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, and he even sang that on WrestleMania, or not?
That's right.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, one of the
Did he?
shows leading up to it.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was, obviously, he's a Hollywood actor. Recently, I guess around January that he returned?
January 1st, yeah.
So he basically announced that he was going to be coming back to WWE. And also, not only that, though, he's a board member of the company that owns WWE, right?
Yes, recently the WWE, which was owned by the McMahon family, for years and years, like decades. Vince McMahon, who's hard to say his name these days, but
Going through some troubles at the moment, yeah.
yeah, but he sold because of stuff that's happening to him. He had to sell all of his stock, basically,
Got it.
remaining stock at WWE to Endeavor Entertainment Group or something, or whatever. The name's Endeavor, right? And then as a result, they merged UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, with WWE and created a super group called TKO Entertainment. So.
Yeah. And The Rock, this is the real company. The Rock is a board member on that thing.
Got it.
So he then announces that he's going to be coming back to be in WWE again. And then at that time, the big good guy everyone's cheering for is Cody Rhodes, and the bad guy is Roman Reigns.
Rock's cousin.
Oh yeah, that's right, Rock's cousin in real life. But The Rock came in and like said he's going to be joining wrestling again, and then he announced that like he's going to come in and actually instead of Cody Rhodes fighting in WrestleMania, The Rock's going to do it. And they said that in the storyline of wrestling, but then all of the wrestling fans, especially Cody fans, got really angry, and they were basically suggesting that like The Rock is basically being Hollywood about everything, and like he's like basically using his influence on the board to like reinsert himself into this storyline that
He doesn't belong.
he doesn't belong, because he's not in wrestling anymore. And so everybody thought he's just going to come in and try to be the good guy and stuff. But then they actually played into that, and he basically became a bad guy in the story. And they played into this idea, like, so there are parts in this whole storyline where like he would say to the ref, because he's a board member, he's like, do not count him out, or no, if you would disqualify him, you're fired, or something like that.
Yes.
So he was actually using that, like, I'm the board member, I can do whatever I want, So it was very much like, that's what we were just saying, like, I don't know if it was a matter of he was going to try to come in and be the good guy and just wanted to be a wrestler again,
Yeah.
or it was always planned as like, no, we're going to make the fans angry, and then we're going to make them angry at me, and then they'll be happy when I lose at the end, which is what happened. It was, honestly, I think the entire storyline was brilliant. I think it was just great.
Exactly, and that's the test. It's a testament to the things that WWE and The Rock was able to bring from Hollywood and teach to WWE. WWE already has their own competency in this, but when when Dwayne brings it in, there's you can tell there's a big difference, and now you can see that happening for the other companies like AEW, All Elite Wrestling, or TNA Wrestling, which is a Toronto-based company now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're owned by Anthem Entertainment, which is a Toronto company. So.
Oh, Anthem Entertainment. Do they have anything to do with the band Rush? Is that the same company?
I believe they are. I believe so. I have to look up those facts again, so don't quote me on that. But I think you have something. I think what you're saying is true. So.
Oh, how interesting.
Yes.
You're learning something new today.
Learning something. All right. Well, next thing I want to ask you, in your speculation at this point, where and when will we again see Roman Reigns? Where is he, and when are we going to see him again?
Oh boy, that's gonna be tough because right now, what's happening with Solo Sikoa, the younger cousin,
Yep.
and the two sons of a wrestler from the '80s again, Haku, who's actually not related to them by blood. They're the ones that like they've got an actual good storyline going and creating this new generation bad guy bloodline story, and you can actually hear the crowd chanting, "We want Roman."
Yeah. So basically, at WrestleMania, after Roman Reigns was the big bad guy, he got defeated by Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the champion, and ever since WrestleMania, we haven't seen Roman at all. Like, he's just disappeared. And his group, the Bloodline, has now been taken over by these new characters who are scary.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
And so it's tough to say because it's like because yes, you want Roman back. The fans want Roman back, and but the thing is, we also know that once he comes back, because he's been such a great heel, great antagonist in this entire 4 years, people respect that, people have loved it, and people have also seen that, like, the times that, like, you know, that they're actually able to break character but not break character and continue and entertain and even more. So that's just, and of course that part of it was in that video that you saw about the bloodline, right? That people want to see him back. The thing is, when he comes back, he's no longer going to be a bad guy because he's just he was just so good at what he did that people are just going to cheer him.
So do you think, that's what I was going to ask you about, do you think he's going to go babyface?
He might not have a choice, honestly. Yeah. He might not have a choice for that. He could come back for SummerSlam. I don't know. No, there's like no news about when he's going to come back.
Yeah.
I think it would be I think it would be a great thing because Roman's earned it, honestly. Joe Anoa'i, he really earned his time off.
He's unbelievable. Yeah. He was because he was the bad guy, like you were saying, he held his championship for like 1,316 days. Yeah.
I
right?
love how you know all this information, by the way.
Well, you know,
it's his job.
He's a pro. Yeah. But so he held it. But the thing is, all the times that he got challenged, every time he won, it was always like his bloodline team would kind of help him win. So it was like that, but that's part of playing into why he's such a bad guy. 'Cause it's like he doesn't deserve it. Solo comes in from the crowd and takes off his hoodie and hits somebody in the throat. Right? It was so cool to watch. But anyway, so he was such a good bad guy.
Okay.
And now he's disappeared, and now I'm wondering, like, oh yeah, by the way, babyface and heel. So a heel is like one of the bad guys. Babyface is like the good guys.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, but
footer notes. Thank you.
Yes, just so you're up to date on everything. I want you to be able to participate as well. But yeah, I think what's going to happen is that because Paul Heyman is scared of the new bloodline, right? Every time they cut to him, he was always like, "Oh, what's happening? Oh, what's happening?" And I think what's going to happen is there's going to be some moment where, like, who's the main new bad? What's it? Tamatoa? Is that his name?
Tamatanga.
Tamatoa is from Moana.
All right, there you go.
Tamatanga and Tangaloa. Those are the two sons of Haku, who was a peer of Roman Reigns' father from those days.
I see.
Got it.
So I think what's going to happen is maybe they'll do something where, like, they're going to be like just going to get too far out of line. Like maybe they're about to attack Paul or something, and it's going to be an amazing moment where I think Roman will show up and like rescue Paul Heyman.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. Actually, I have a story with Paul Heyman. Well, not with Paul Heyman, but then I when I went to WrestleMania. I wanted to cosplay. I didn't know what to cosplay as, but I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll go to a party city or something like that and like find something. But then like my buddy Chico and his cousin Arvi, who lives in New Jersey, he actually has this Undertaker costume.
Oh, nice.
And I inherited it. So yeah, Chico has this ECW hat. This ECW hat, so I was like thinking to myself, okay, I brought myself a suit here as well, just in case there was something to happen, right? So what I did, I put on the suit, I got I put on the Undertaker jacket, put on the Paul Heyman hat, and I remembered for some reason I brought one of my headset microphone combos for what I use for play-by-play.
Okay.
And I was like, and it just clicked. And one day in Philadelphia, it just clicked. Boom. Okay, I'm gonna cosplay as Paul Heyman. So yeah, put that all together, and at the WWE Superstore on the Sunday at the Philadelphia Convention Center, and yes, I bought a championship belt over there.
Of course you did. That's what you all do.
Yeah.
I had that. I had the costume on, full Paul Heyman costume and everything. I actually got stopped by a person working for WWE. It's like, hey man, look, this isn't gonna go online or anything like that, but is it okay if I take a picture of you and send it to Paul Heyman? And I'm just like, yes.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's sick.
And later on in the day, this is before we went to the field for Sunday at WrestleMania. They actually have the first exhibit when you walk into the entrance of WWE World, their convention. There is an entrance stage, and there's a whole production team around you, and you get to do your own entrance. So you choose from whatever wrestler is on the WWE roster, not working for, let's say, a competition company, right? And so it's like, hey man, do you have the Undertaker? Or actually, yeah. So I did the Paul Heyman thing over there, over the WWE World. But then I also had the Undertaker thing going on, but because I bought the belt that the Undertaker held during that time.
Cool.
And so I actually was able to do the entrance as the Undertaker, and then just like, okay, you know what? I can slow this down, take all the time I want. Good 2 minutes. All right, cool. Let's do it. So yeah, I have that footage of myself cosplaying as the Undertaker as well. So 2 cosplays in one day.
That's awesome. So was it worth going to
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania?
Yeah, it is. WrestleMania is everything. It's when people say it's the Super Bowl of professional wrestling, it is the Super Bowl of professional wrestling and more.
Ooh.
You're around thousands upon thousands of people who understand this genre the same way that you do. You're around thousands and thousands of people who are willing, just as you said, just like, they want to cheer, they want to participate in the show. And I think that's one of the reasons why, as I studied drama and theater in university and college, that I fell in love with wrestling even more, because it is the only genre of entertainment out there that relies on the audience. For you to be so good at your job as a wrestler and in production team, that the audience wants to go and participate in those shows with you, and to be able to cheer and to be able to boo you and to be able to watch what's going on. Because during the pandemic, it was very, very hard to watch wrestling, because even on TV, because there
no crowds, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was even harder for the performers to actually do their thing.
Yeah.
Because they need that feedback. They want to have those people in their ears, those crowds, and especially the bad guys, the heels. They need
to hear the boos, right? Yeah.
You'll hear some of the the rudest things from the crowd, and the way they react to it is just great. And when you see that kind of thing, even like on the local level, and even in the WWE house shows, because those ones over there, the non-TV tapings, those are the ones where they can actually really deviate from the story slightly and go into the crowd and say, hey, and actually interact with them and conduct that way.
Yeah.
So you have FOMO that you didn't go?
Sorry?
Do you have FOMO that you didn't go?
I mean, I will definitely. There's definitely a WrestleMania in my future.
Las Vegas next year.
I mean,
Well, there you go. You
I mean,
have a cousin in Vegas. You can
I
stay
do.
with them.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely one day I will. It's not
Start
cheap.
saving, Scott.
It's not a cheap investment.
No, it's not. Not at all.
So, you know what we need? More advertisers, if that's what
Yeah,
you
there you go.
want
We
to
need
do.
sponsors, people. That's a good segue, Regine.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to do our ad break, and then we're going to come back and talk more about wrestling, because I'm enjoying this very much.
We also need to get to know Lex.
We
too,
should
at
probably know a
some
bit
point.
about it as well. Yes. Okay. All right. So today's episode, everybody, this amazing episode of The Sit Down is brought to you by the following fantastic advertisers. They make the show possible. So let's meet them, shall we? The Toronto real estate market is growing and changing every day. In these challenging times, you need someone in your corner. Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, is committed to looking out for you. She'll go the extra mile to ensure you have all the information you need to make a decision you can feel confident about. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest financial investments you'll make in life. Don't leave it to chance. Call Jeanette McKenzie at Forest Hill Signature. She's my realtor. That's right, the place I'm in right now. She helped me find it, and she could be yours. Call today at 416-523-0408 or email at jmckenziehomes@gmail.com. Jewelry forever. Conveniently located at CF Markville Shopping Center on 5000 Highway 7 East, Markham. They do custom-made jewelry. They do repairs. They do custom laser engraving. Wow. Incredible. And they change watch batteries, all done on site. Jerry at Jewelry Forever, an amazing artist. Do you have a vision for something you'd like to be made? He can make it for you out of that raw gold. He'll make it into a beautiful ring. Did something get damaged? I saw him on TikTok. He repaired a ring that got crushed flat by a car, and he brought it back to its former glory. It looked like a ring. Incredible. Make sure you follow them on Instagram and on TikTok, Jewelry Forever. And we have an amazing deal worked out with them too. If you mention the show, tell them Scott and Regine sent you. You will get 15% off your purchase. That's right, 15%, 15%. Amazing deal. Head on over there, mention the show, get a great deal for something special for the special person in your life, and find out more at jewelryforever.ca. Beautified by Romina.
Internationally trained hair and makeup artist. She is the official hair and makeup artist of the Sit Down. Not only does she do our hair and makeup for when Scott wants to wrestle, just kidding, wants to become a wrestler.
That's right.
But when we go to live events, if we're emceeing, if one of us is competing, she also does hair and makeup for every occasion, whether it be a wedding, engagements, baby showers, date nights.
Red carpet events. Anywhere you need to be beautified, really.
Beautified by Romina on Instagram and Facebook. Reach out.
That's right. And if you would like to advertise on the show, it's very easy, right, Regine?
It's simple. All you have to do is email us at radioshowad, that's radioshowad@gmail.com.
That's right. We do the show live every week. I mean, not this week, but we are doing the ads live at the same time that we're recording the show. That's what we mean by live. And we also do the ads live, like I just said, week to week. What does that mean? It means you could personalize them week to week. Do you have an event? A sale? Something happening at a particular time and particular place? You let us know. We let your potential client base know in real time. It's an amazing way to build a brand new relationship with a brand new audience. So get in touch, radioshowad@gmail.com. And we're back, everybody.
Back again.
And we are here with Lex Tan.
Hello.
Hello. Chatting, talking
So
about
we talked a lot about
wrestling. Yeah.
Let's take a break for a second, can we?
Let's talk a little bit about you
yes,
yourself.
Please.
Sure.
Although
Who are you?
Yeah.
And
I mean, it is wrestling related though, because you do a weekly show about wrestling. I want to know, how did that start? How did that come
we
about?
ask him who he is first.
Oh. Who are you?
Isn't that the question, isn't it?
We just
these
let
days?
this
Who
random
are
man
you?
into our studio. Tell us more about you.
Well,
What do I not know about you?
yeah, what don't you know about me? No, just kidding. I initially started off as a musician and an actor, and I worked a long time for a company that how do you say this? Yes, that's right. That took care of adults with special needs in a context of a theater, music, and arts-based kind of culture kind of thing.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun doing that job. Don't get me wrong, but of course I needed a little bit more than just than just what I was getting over there. So I went and looked around for different things. I became a driving instructor at one point.
I just got my
Cool.
G1. You want to teach me how to drive? He's like, at one point.
There's actually a reason why I'm not a driving instructor anymore.
Never mind.
First of all, I don't have a brake in my car other than my own. So
Fair.
it's like, wow, you don't have a brake in your car? Shoot, how did you get here? Anyway, why are you still here?
Flintstones.
Yes.
Yeah.
That takes me way back to something. Anyway, it was. I participated in the theater industry as well too, from in the community level. Did a few shows with a theater company that runs their shows out of Fairview Mall Library Theater.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few
okay.
shows there. Cool.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. I love being a theater professional, doing the music, doing the music thing over there, and that all stemmed from being able to from music training, and way back in oh my God, it's been 22 years already. Way back when Pope John Paul II came to town for World Youth Day here, here in Toronto. I was my band at the time was part of was actually asked to participate in the opening ceremonies, and then and then the welcome of the Pope.
Cool.
And,
Wow.
but I was tasked to be. Not necessarily by choice, but to be the musical director for that segment.
No way.
And being able to be on stage with the Pope there was phenomenal. And so
That's cool.
and so, just little things there, and then of course, your regular gigs around town, and I participated in the improv scene as well at one point with the Impatient Theater Company, and a lot of great training from that. But eventually, because of the driving instructing thing, I had to make
Another way of making money.
Yeah, another way of making money, exactly. And I realized it's like, you know what? People have been telling me to get in the radio. People have been telling me to get into the broadcasting industry.
Yeah.
And so I went back to school in 2016 at Humber College for their radio broadcasting certificate program. 8 months in class, 4 months in as an intern. Boom, you're off to the races.
Cool. That's awesome.
And at the same time, I was also doing play-by-play for video game competitions that took place at Cineplex theaters.
Nice.
So we called things like Street Fighter and the MLB, the MLB
cool.
The Show, and
Awesome.
and stuff like that. And eventually, I was able to get to a point where I was asked by a radio station, thanks to a teacher of mine, Elvira Carria, who referred me to them, saying that because they wanted to have wrestling related content on their radio station. So my name was put forth. I put together a demo with some of my buddies, and we've been on the air since May the 1st, 2021.
Wow.
And we're going to be doing our 100. Well, as of this recording right now, June 9, I believe, is this coming Sunday.
Yeah.
So that would be our 140th episode on Saga 960.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. And
That's a big milestone.
and so that's only a little bit of it, but I've had such a lot of fun doing this stuff, and my full-time job right now is to do traffic reports on the radio for Toronto stations, for Hamilton stations, and 30 radio stations, and of course 30 radio stations across Southern Ontario, plus global TV every now and then. So
Very cool.
See, like that introduction was way better than what I said about him in the beginning.
A little more in depth.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
I didn't know. I didn't
cool.
know about like 90% of that.
Yeah. That's really cool. So I've probably heard your voice on the radio many times then.
Probably.
Most likely.
Probably. And it's I think going into the industry, the media industry, sure. I mean, like, the joke is with Canadian media, it's you're not going to see the big bucks as you're going to do if you went to the American media or something like that. But that's the thing, is that ever since I was about 3 years old, and of course with Filipinos, you get your microphone in your hand, in your face
Game
immediately,
over.
thanks to karaoke machines.
Yeah.
But I loved the microphone. I loved the microphone, and despite the different times that in my life that I had it's coming out sometimes as well. I had a speech impediment, a stuttering problem when I was a kid, and it was. And the fact that I look back on the journey to where I am today, right now, as a stutterer as a kid, and being able to do this and to be able to make money off of my voice is the damnedest thing to me sometimes, you know.
That's terrific.
And I'm very, very thankful for being able to be on the air 5 days a week, plus things like this, and plus my own show, and to be able to, you know, still be a gigging musician at the same time.
I was gonna say, do you still perform?
I still do, mostly just doing church gigs. Actually, I do one Saturday over at Etobicoke, and my Sundays are over at the Newman Center at the University of Toronto. And what I love about the Newman Center over there is just it's just a great community, first of all, and of course, you know, I enjoy making music, and to be able to do that. In a place where I've considered, I guess, home base for my spiritual needs, I guess. But be able to do that every week with a grand piano.
Ooh.
Oh, it's their grand piano there is just beautiful, and just like the fact that, like, you know, yes, all of the other things about, like, you know, being honored to serve in a certain way, in certain ways, just to be able to like on that I guess kind of superficial musician kind of level, if you want to call it superficial, I don't know, but to be able to sit down every week and know that, like, you know, I'm playing a grand piano that costs as much as a luxury car, and I got to and I get to make music with it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
not even mine.
Yes, exactly. exactly.
That's cool. Yeah. So I know you play the guitar. I did not know you played the piano.
I did.
What other instruments do you play?
Because of the guitar, I was able to learn how to play bass, and I've gotten some pretty good bass gigs over the years with that. I know a little bit of percussion, but I probably would not be paid for it. It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, we need somebody to keep a beat. Okay, fine, I'll just I'll hit stuff basically. And I've tried other instruments like like your xylophone and your marimbas, your vibraphones, and all that sort of stuff. And I tried to do brass instruments. I didn't find the like brass and woodwinds were ever for me. So
no.
The brass instruments and the woodwinds are much more. They're so different from the others in that, like, it really depends on, like, this. You're building this weird strength in your lips. That's like. I played trumpet in grades 7 and 8 in elementary school. Yes. And I got pretty good. I was pretty good. I was a good trumpet player.
We heard
talked about it in the past, right? But, like, I've been watching a lot of classical music over the last couple of years. I've been getting into that as well. Same time as wrestling, you know, it's related, I guess. I don't know. But
the symphony and WWE.
You know, very, very similar,
so similar
art forms.
Yeah.
But I've noticed, I went to one recently that it was, what were they playing? It was mostly Bach, I think. And they brought out a trumpet player for one song. And, like, his whole part, it was like super high notes. And they were like, burp, 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 burp. And seeing his face, he was like, was turning so red.
I bet.
You know what I mean? And I knew, like, because I've played a little bit of trumpet, I knew that, like, it's an instrument where, like, your ability to hit the high notes is so dependent on you building that strength, like, that I could never do that when I was learning in grade 7. I guess it takes years and years. But just knowing what he was going through and how painful that was.
You're like, I feel for you, bro.
Yeah. But it's so different from, like, a guitar or piano, where it's like, once you know how to play it,
you know how to play it.
It's like, you know, I play guitar. I could be really sick. I could still play my guitar, right? I mean, like, I might be falling over, but, like, what I mean is, let's say I had a gig and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not feeling good, but yeah, okay, well, we got to play. I'll get up on stage and I can play sick, right?
You just won't sing.
I couldn't sing, but it's similar, vocals, but I think woodwinds and brass, the same idea. It's like part of your body is the instrument.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, just a different type of thing. Yeah.
And there's the skill sets that you need in order to, as you're saying, to, like, play a wind instrument. It's it really does require you to be at peak health. Just and it's in the same way that, like, you know, in the same way that maybe as a singer or something like that, you got to keep yourself in peak condition as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's obviously. There are other things involved, and people don't have to be in peak condition sometimes. But I mean, for me, I sit here, I sit here, and I'm looking at you two, peak physical condition, you two. So
tip top. You know.
And I'm here, and I'm just like, yeah, you know what? What am I doing with my summer? Oh, what did I do with my spring? Yeah, I should have used it. I should have used some of that time to get in that peak physical condition for summer. So
I'm not there, but thank you.
Tip top shape, Regine.
Totes my goats.
I'm not totally bringing it back to wrestling, but just
Yes,
slightly.
you are.
Well, no, I just wanted to ask because so you were telling the story, you know, how you ended up getting into broadcasting, but I wanted to find out. So the station said they needed wrestling content.
Yes,
but like, how did they know
that you were
you were the wrestling guy? Like, how did that part happen?
Well, this actually stems all the way back from 2016 when I was in school. I made a connection with one of my teachers there, and at Humber they have some great faculty over there who actually are working and have worked in the industry,
Cool.
and are still very relevant with that. And one of those teachers was a woman named Elvira Carria, and she's been on the air back in she was actually the morning show girl at Z1035 back in the 90s alongside Tony Monaco.
Okay.
And Tony Monaco, he's still working over there at Z1035 and still rocking it. So hey, good job, Tony, and everything. And Elvira, she's her own entrepreneur now and everything, out independent of the radio industry and everything. But she still goes back every now and then to help out. Anyway, she was actually the career development teacher for the program that year, which is actually pretty cool because I remember my music career development teacher back in Humber was a guy named Rick Emmett from Triumph, and so I got a chance to spend like a fall with him every week or whatever like that. So it was pretty cool. Anyway, Elvira was helping out this growing radio station, Saga 960 AM, as part of their afternoon crew, their afternoon drive crew. And then when she heard down the grapevine that they needed wrestling content, the first person that came to mind was me, because I told her in my first couple of weeks in that course, where do you want to be? Where do you want to go in your career? I said, the first thing that came out of my mind, I want to be the lead play-by-play guy for WWE Raw.
Oh.
Wow. So you made that one comment.
Yeah. Wow. So this has been so getting into the wrestling world had been a dream of yours for quite a while.
It's always been there. I would always say that I would like my dream was to be into or eventually evolved into being in the wrestling world. I mean, I always want. My dream was to be a musician or an actor or whatever like that. Yeah. But I also just dreamed of being able to, I guess, make good work and make good money as a broadcaster. As a broadcaster, that was also one of those things. And just like as was mentioned with Triple H, has Plan A, Plan 1A, Plan 1B, Plan 1C, whatever like that. Yeah. And so those things, I guess, came into play, and somehow it eventually evolved into being into broadcasting and being as a play-by-play person. Because I actually have this story from back in the day when people would play like NBA Jam and stuff like that, and like
amazing game.
Yeah, when either at home or or like in the malls or something like that. Yep. I'll be there watching. I wouldn't even put money down to play the games because I would suck compared to these people. But what I would do is I would actually go back and watch, and then sometimes under my breath I would actually do play-by-play of NBA Jam, or let's say or NHL if I'm at home with with my cousins or something like that. I would actually do play-by-play. And if I'm just by myself at home and I'm playing like NBA Live or something, I'll turn off Kevin Harlan.
You do it yourself.
Exactly. And I'm playing the game. And sometimes I don't even play the game. Put the controller down, let the computer play. I'm just sitting there and just watching and just I'll call the game myself.
Awesome. So what is it about play-by-play that drew you to it, do you think?
Is that what PXP means on your bio?
Yes.
Oh, I was like, what does PXP mean? I was like, I don't know.
I wasn't actually sure what that meant. But yeah, okay.
Now we
there
know.
We go. We got it.
Yeah.
So what do you think it is about it? What do you think about play-by-play and because what that story you just told about, like I've never heard many people say
neither.
that's something that they, oh yeah, I just wanted to start calling the game. But you felt what is it about it, do you think, that drew you to doing that?
I guess it was just something that, like, I wanted to express myself by speech in that sort of way.
Okay.
And I didn't know what that meant when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, when I was a teenager, whatever like that. I didn't understand that at all, and I didn't have a way to put it into words. But one of my favorite broadcasters, it's actually not the players that I remember from sports I watched back in the day. It was the broadcasters. I remember, like, Bob Cole and Harry Neal, Jim Houston and Buck Martinez, Dan Shulman and Buck Martinez, like those guys, and the great broadcasters came from there, and that come from there. I remember those names better than I remember the actual players on the field or on the ice or on the pitch.
Yep.
And even, like, for instance, FIFA 64 was a thing when I was a kid, and I don't remember how to play the game. I don't remember any of the players that were in the game at the time that year, but I remember that voice, that English voice, calling those games. And then the more it evolved, I hear what people would say about Bob Cole. And by the way, Jerry Howarth from the Blue Jays, Tom Cheek and Jerry Howarth.
Yeah.
Jerry Howarth, I've actually met him last year, and singing at church.
Nice.
He is actually a pretty cool guy to get feedback from in terms of on-air performance, because he's done it for 30 years. And one of the things that was really awesome about what he said to me back then, or back last year,
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. Back last year was that. He's been so blessed that he's been so blessed with an amazing career. He's been able to have his family and to be able to provide for his family through this amazing through the work of calling Toronto Blue Jays games.
Yeah.
And that is something that is a blessing that he could never have thought for himself.
Yeah.
But he has it, and he's so thankful and he feels so blessed to have that happen. And I looked at that last year. That's exactly what I want for my life. I want to be able to look at my life when I'm 70, 80 years old and look back and say that, look, I built this life for myself. I built and through something that I love to do. And when you hear things like when people talk about Bob Cole and say that he finds the melody, the music, of the hockey that's being played in front of him. Yep. And you tell that story. That's something that resonated with me, because I love telling stories. Yeah. And one of the best ways to tell stories that I found back in the day was the NBA on NBC. First of all, you have that epic music that starts it off, based on the rhythm of a fast break. Thank you, John Tesh. Anyway. And then you have the broadcasters, your Bob Costas and your Marv Albert, telling you this is the story of what's happening to Kobe Bryant. This is what's happening to Michael Jordan. This is what's happening to this and this and this player. And then it goes and all comes together on the playing surface. And then you see, and then it gets you feeling what these players are feeling. That is the beautiful thing about story. Yeah. And it comes from the music. That comes from the theater. That comes from listening to these great voices tell stories. And somehow it all comes together in this moment.
That's cool.
That's awesome. I think you're definitely onto something with the voices, because I'm thinking now, especially Jerry Howarth is a big one in that. I remember when I would hear Jerry Howarth's voice, it's like, I now know summer's here.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I was so sad when he, obviously he got old. I guess you have to retire eventually. But like when he got off the radio, because like that voice was just,
nostalgia for you?
Well, yeah, because in the backyard, I was like, that's what you would hear. And it was such a unique voice as well. And there she goes.
That's more Buck Martinez, though.
Oh, no.
No, sorry. No, you got the catchphrase right.
Yes.
You got the catchphrase right. I think Jerry's a little less nasal than Buck, though.
You're right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Buck is more. Let me think of the voice. Okay.
get up, ball, and God.
Yeah, that's a good
Vladimir
Buck.
Guerrero Jr.
That's a good Buck Martinez. I like Buck Martinez's voice too.
Yeah.
You're right. Jerry's was a little more. There was a specific quality to it that I've noticed that you don't hear that quality of voice. Like it's more especially the guys who you were used to hearing on like AM radio.
Mm-hmm.
Like because Bob Cole had another voice similar to Jerry Howard's, and that it's in that range.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't hear that as much anymore.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true because with Jerry. He's got this register that like there's a part of his voice and a sort of like that this whatever frequency his voice resonates at, that it's calming, but there's also this there's also this I guess higher pitchedness to it.
Yes,
but it also calms you at the same time because but then like he's able to pick it up from down there but bring the level up here but still stay within that sweet spot somehow.
I've wondered if it's because like older radio, right, they didn't have like the bass response that you could hear now. So I wonder if like especially the old timey ones and then it's same thing when you listen to like the really like I don't know if you've ever seen old footage. I've seen old footage of what was the broadcaster who used to do Hockey Night in Canada, but it was like in like the 40s and 50s. No, maybe not the 40s. It might have been the 40s.
Foster Hewitt, I believe?
Yes, Foster Hewitt. You hear his voice. He had that similar type of kind of high-pitched voice, and I wonder if because you needed that type of voice to like cut through those speakers that had that sound of like what AM radio sounds like. It's very like kind of grainy, those old recordings.
Yeah, grainy and very like very, very in a small kind of like window of sound of the frequency.
Yeah. And now the calls round the back, like that. But I love that voice. For me is like that's what I actually don't like a lot of the new like the hockey ones now. I don't like them as much as like Bob Cole and the one guy the guy I really like still now is I like Joe Bowen.
Oh, Bozy, yeah. That and with that guy, it's about story and it's about passion. The passion that he has for the game of hockey and particularly for the Toronto Maple Leafs is just infectious. Yep. And it's one of the reasons why I mean he's been at this since like the 90s. Like,
I think so. Yeah, at least. Yeah.
And so what's now 30 some odd years that he's been doing this. Yeah. Like 82 games a year, and plus sometimes when they're in the playoffs and early exits and stuff like that. But we're not going to talk about that. But Bonesy is one of those guys that. You grow up and it's even if it's wintertime and it's like freezing cold out there, you feel good because he's there. He's there to tell you the story of what's happening with the Maple Leafs.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying because he used to do I guess before Rogers kind of owns all of it now. He used to be the TV one on Leafs TV, so at least you'd hear him on the TV watching games on Leafs TV. Yes. But then now it's all switched over. He's now permanently on the radio, and I remember like there'd be times like sometimes maybe I'll be at my friend's house and I'm watching the first period at their place, and then in between intermission, okay, I'm gonna head home and I'll finish the game at home, and there's always a stretch where I'm like listening to the game on the radio on the way home. And then I hear Bonesy, and I'm like, oh, I forgot. Yeah, where's this?
You just sit in your car for the rest of the game?
Because he just has such a...
I've done that before.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because he brings it to another level that, I don't know, I feel like it's not... I just miss it. I just wish I could hear it more often.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's that might be needed in this industry, because here's the thing. A lot of people say that the media industry is dying and the radio is gonna be phased out because we have all of this right now. Like right now,
we're on Spotify right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, and that's the thing is that like there's a reason why people like yes sure AM radio, FM radio were all people had at a certain point in time. But at the same time, because that's all you had, you needed to be damn good at your job. You needed to be able to as you said, cut through the frequencies. Not just in on the physical sound audio scale, but cut through the frequencies of a person's mind.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's and to be able to do that, to be able to tell those stories that of because it's just you're on the Raptors, whatever like that. You're gonna get turnover. You're gonna get new players every year. Sure, when the Raptors won in 2019, those players are etched in your minds forever. But they're not gonna be there forever. Actually,
Carter's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And but what do you remember? You remember the story of those people, and that's exactly. You remember the stories of those players, and the way you get those stories of those players is through those great broadcasters. The ways that Joe Bowen and Jerry Howarth were able to do it, and the way that Bob Cole was able to was able to do it. God rest his soul. And we need more story-driven things. I think that will make the difference. Hopefully, in the new generation of broadcasters, is to get the story of those players to the forefront. And I think that's why WWE is so successful at what they've done over the past 40 to 70 years that they've been in existence, is because you've got your JRs and your Jerry the King Lawlers and your Michael Coles and your Pat McAfees right now in this generation, making sure why this wrestler is kicking this wrestler's ass, why this person feels this way, why this championship is so important, not to these just wrestlers, but to the people watching. That's what they need. And once the industry realizes that again, it's gonna. I don't know how long it'll take. But once the industry realizes that again, there will be there may be a change.
Maybe they're listening right now.
I hope so.
We'll clip this and put it on our TikTok.
We'll do it. Yeah. I love hearing you talk about it all. It gets me excited. Love hearing the passion. It's infectious.
I was going to say, you're very passionate when you speak, and you are a great storyteller, so I can totally see you going big in this industry.
I hope so.
And I'm not just saying that because I've known you for all these years, but I've actually known you longer than I've known Scott.
Oh, really? Oh, really? That's right. 2008, I believe we met.
No, not that long. That sounds so bad. I think I met you in 2000 and...
It's got to be 2010 because sometime 2009, 2010.
I need to do the math.
Because of Freestyle Fridays.
We don't Freestyle Friday no more.
That's true.
We gotta get Regine back on the mic.
Yeah,
the singing mic. I've been saying it on the show. Coming soon, people.
No, I was 20 when I met you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was 2011.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So maybe it was around the same time that I met you.
I'm not good with time, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
But yeah, no, it's I really do appreciate I do really appreciate it because it's sometimes when you're in this when you're working this much I work 7 days a week on the air basically doing on-air stuff and online stuff and sometimes it really does get tough to I guess remember the passion. Because the work takes over. And don't get me wrong, I love the work. I love the work, and I love being able to, even just the story of what's going on the roads. There's a crash on the 401. Geez, you're gonna be in this for a while because you're gonna be in this for a while because you got to get from Kennedy all the way to Allen Road, and you're going at 5 kilometers an hour, right, whatever like that. And there's still a story in that, and there's still,
I believed it.
Exactly. And it's more than just, and that's the thing when it comes to these things. Yes, there's a place for the passion. There's a place for the facts and just the cold hard facts. But with the entertainment and the stories of like sports and entertainment really, get that term going again. Just like the way the WWE's been able to do it, NBA and NBC is able to do it, Hockey Night in Canada has been able to do it for so long, is find that story and find what makes it important to the people and makes it important to you.
Drop the mic.
Amazing. I love it. This has been great.
Yeah. See, I told you you'd be a great guest.
Well, once you told me he was he's in broadcasting, I'm like, he's gonna know how to say.
I sold you about being a guest? I'm like, he's really into wrestling.
Because it was again, it's like awesome. Yeah, now we can finally talk about it. Let's do this. Yeah.
But I've been wanting to get you on the show only because I didn't realize that you were doing your podcast, but I knew that you were doing like the news stuff and music. So I was like, we can talk about news. No, we can talk. You can talk about way more than that.
That's great. Yeah,
you should get him. You should get you back on when his brother is in town. Taylor will take my spot.
My brother's also super into wrestling, so we just talk wrestling for the entire episode.
And I won't be there.
All right. Well,
you know what? You want to talk wrestling? I'd love to have you on my show as well.
Oh, I would love to. Yeah, let's make it happen. I'm
awesome.
Down.
There you go.
All right, we'll talk. We'll talk afterwards. That sounds good.
He was talking to me, Scott.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Regine, go on there and do a whole episode of wrestling.
Wow. Just no.
Give it 6 months, just like we did with this guy over here.
Oh my God!
And you'll be and you'll know you'll know just like him, just how crazy it is and how exciting it can be, and your motivation to watch.
Well,
I get it.
I was saying because like the storylines are like it's as good as any drama or any like reality TV show.
No, I totally
it.
get it. Like I said, my brother is an aspiring wrestler, so I understand what he's had to go through. And newsflash, since you are in the news, I'm going to say newsflash. Growing up, I did have wrestling in the background because my uncle would watch. My uncle loves The Rock, so it was always on TV. So that is how my brother was inspired to do it. So I know a little bit more than you think, but not recent wrestling.
No, wait, I'm saying we'll make you into a fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Final prediction is Liv Morgan. Are Liv Morgan and Dom gonna end up together?
That is an amazing story that's actually waiting to happen because Dom and Rhea have been in storyline have been a thing for a year and a bit now.
Yep.
And they've had and I believe they're actually the ones to really help Judgment Day elevate when things weren't as I guess established with their team, the Judgment Day, their stable. But now that this is starting to happen, and you have the Liv Morgan situation going on, that's going to actually make it a little bit even more interesting now, because now there's a reason for Rhea to, when she comes back, to feud with Liv and actually make this real personal.
Yeah.
I wonder if by the time this airs, something has changed.
Hey, who knows? Yeah, who knows?
You got to watch Lex's his podcast.
Tune in tonight at 7, everybody.
That's right.
They listen and tell us what happens.
We have one final segment on the show.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to do the play-by-play?
Not this time. This time you are participating.
Well, maybe he'll do both.
Maybe he could. Are you familiar with this?
Yes, I do remember that.
The classic game, Barrel of Monkeys. Have you ever played it before?
I have. Not recently, but I have.
All right, so maybe we'll see if those skills play into
that
it.
Play-by-play is coming soon. Oh my God, he should totally do a play-by-play for a tournament.
Oh,
we have a Barrel of Monkeys tournament?
I mean,
well,
sorry,
you're about to compete. You're about to compete right now. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of the Barrel of Monkeys World Championship.
Ooh.
That ooh was Lex, not the monkey. There's my play-by-play.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do the demo to show you. So we do this, every guest participates. And yeah, eventually we are planning to do a final where like the whole episode is like the entire competition of this game.
We should do
and that would be cool to have you come on and do it.
End of summer, we should totally do it.
Okay, well actually you have to pick a date because we've been talking about it for years.
We need to know when Lex is available so that we can have him on.
Okay, but first thing, so Regine will do the demo. So the way it works, it starts, the barrel is on the table.
Okay.
I will put 1 minute on the timer. Mm-hmm. I'll say 3, 2, 1, go. You grab the barrel. Pour out the monkeys. You can put the barrel aside. Pick up a single monkey. Use that monkey to pick up a monkey.
Oh,
then you're trying, or 2 monkeys. Try to use that monkey to pick up another monkey. Use that monkey to pick up another monkey, and so on and so forth. You're trying to get as many monkeys hooked on as you can in 1 minute.
Okay.
The timer goes off. Freeze. We'll count the monkeys. In this case, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The one in your hand does not count toward your total.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
that's
pretty much it. Any questions?
Nope. Let's do it.
All right.
So if you are going to do a play-by-play, you're more than welcome. If not, you can move
You might need to focus. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can move the mic to the side if it's in your way.
You can move the microphone.
How are you feeling about this? Are you nervous? How are you feeling?
Maybe move the mic the other way.
Well, as you want to tell the story of the barrel of monkeys over here, I think that they're going to be very, very careful. I got to be very careful about this. I also got to make sure that I treat all of these monkeys with the proper love and respect as well, because when you do, they'll be able to grab on a little bit more, a little bit easier, and they'll be able to band together. As they say, you attract more flies with honey than with vinegar. I think that's the one.
That is right. Yes, you're right.
You got to cover it.
It starts with the barrel
right.
lid on,
Yes,
lid
yes,
on,
yes,
lid on.
He got really into it.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, if you want, you can shove it aside. You don't have to talk into the mic while you're doing it. Just
He wants to.
if you want to, but just find a position. If you want, you can even scooch over a little.
Where's one of those headset microphone kind of thingies that I usually use for play-by-play?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. All right, here we go.
All right, are you ready?
Let's see what we got. All right.
All right, so it's
He
there.
really
Okay.
wants to play-by-play, so it's happening.
All right, the timer is on. 3,
Sorry.
2, 1. Go.
All right, here we go. Opening the barrel. Getting it right out there. Okay, first monkey in my hand at the moment. Okay, the best way to go about this is to try to grab this one over here because it's connected. Nope,
He's
it's not
gonna be
connected.
like,
There we
I'm
go.
gonna
There's
get
another one. That's 3. That's 2 in the hand. There's one right down there. Oh,
Liking this energy.
here we go.
45 seconds.
45 seconds left on the clock over here. They're grabbing another one here. We've got this one over here that's got his arm up, so I'm gonna go grab this up. And let's see who's next one. His next one over here. Ooh, you know what? I'm listening to the music right now, and the first thing I'm thinking is like Doctor Who. I've actually been getting into that show for quite a bit, and it's a lot of fun to watch that show.
20 seconds.
Oh, 20 seconds. I should stop talking and actually concentrate on what's going on over here right now. Well, let's go. Let's see.
Okay.
There it is.
Oh, careful.
All right.
10
I
seconds.
lost one. I lost one.
10
I got.
seconds.
All right,
Recovered.
Oh no! I've lost 2.
Careful.
There you go.
I'm not loving you. I'm not loving the monkeys as much. Or the monkeys don't love me. Come on.
Time. Wow. What do we got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5
monkeys. All right. Well,
That's
One
not too
Monday morning,
shabby.
I got late. There were these monkeys outside the gate.
how are you feeling about your performance?
I would say that I would say that in this moment the pressure might have gotten to me just a little bit, and if I wanted to get more than 5 monkeys, I probably would have just needed to calm down a little bit and focus on the monkeys because those monkeys, they want to be picked up, but then they're listening to me ramble on and on. They're probably thinking to myself, maybe I don't think I'm good down here. You know?
Well, I will say we did kind of see a first in that we've never seen the competitor also
Do the clip.
live commentary as they were doing it. So
Normally
you were
we
kind
do
of
that.
you were adding like an extra degree of difficulty. So you were kind of playing it almost on another level. You've taken it to
Whoop.
another level.
He's
Yeah,
taking
speaking
the
of taking,
microphone
yeah,
to
there's another level with this microphone over here now. Well, I guess I mean, heck, I did that when I was a kid on playing video games. So
There you go.
It was just kind of natural. It was just a natural inclination. All right, so why don't we let's update the monkey standings, and let's see where you're sitting in terms of.
to help you adjust that.
Yeah, you just twist around. Yeah, it's fine. Let me just bring up the monkey standings here. So let's see where you sit.
With 5
With
monkeys.
5 monkeys, you are sitting right around tied with people like Chloe Cheongson,
okay.
Great
Kaylee
singers.
Surezzo, Liz Marnock, Karina Bianchini, Jarius Monzon, Jalen Bradley, and Valentina Sitchko. All of those people, 5 monkeys. That's a lot of good singers in there. A lot of
Nice.
different people.
So you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th place.
9th place.
That's cool. I mean, hey, this is one of the reasons why I got into play-by-play is because I sucked at the sports.
Hey, at least it wasn't last, so you're all good.
You were not last. That's true.
I mean, to that person in last place, no shade, all love.
Yeah. But Lex is happy to not be down there.
Not there, yeah.
So there you are, 5 monkeys added to the list. So next time, hey, yeah, if we get the full tournament going, it'd be so cool. We have you come back and you could
You can
live
redeem
commentary.
yourself,
Uh-huh,
and then you can do commentary.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll name those monkeys as well too, so
There you
so there's
go.
like a little bit better connection with the
George,
monkeys. You know.
Curious
That
George.
might play in your favor.
Yes.
So that concludes this week's edition of the Barrel of Monkeys World Championship. I always like to wait for that little one at the end.
Little
I like
monkey.
that one.
Nice.
And there it was. Well, Lex, this was a great chat. Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun, and it's great to talk to you and catch up with you, Regine, and get to know you a little bit better, Scott.
Yeah, this was a great time. Before we say goodbye, why don't we let people know social media, where they can follow you, where they can tune in to hear you,
Your
all of that
podcast.
stuff. Yeah.
So my personal social media is at Lex Tan Media. You can find me on all the social media platforms out there, including TikTok and Instagram. And we're also on the show Ringside Heat is on Sundays at 7 p.m. on Saga 960. You can tune in on saga960am.ca if you don't have radio reception or anything like that. Or you can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and your other favorite podcatchers, as well as on Mondays at 7 p.m. on YouTube. We release the video podcast of what we aired on a Sunday as well. And also just little fun tidbits along YouTube and other social media when it comes to that. So at Lex Tan Media, at ringside_heat is where you're going to find that.
Ooh, and you can probably hear him if you're stuck in traffic.
That's true. That's true. Yes, and a whole bunch of stations that in Toronto, in Hamilton, and in Kitchener now. So
Nice.
But you know what? The more I think about it now,
You hear it?
no, that, but also they would say your name right before you start to read it, right? Would they be like?
sometimes they do.
Because I almost feel like
Close your eyes.
I feel like I've heard
say
that
say
now.
something about the.
All right,
Close
here you
your
go.
eyes, Scott.
Okay, here. I'll give like a sample traffic report.
Okay.
Westbound 401 in the express lanes at Allen Road. We've got a collision blocking the right lane. We're seeing huge delays all the way back from Kennedy Road. That's the only problem right now on the major highways, but they're very busy at this time, as per usual for rush hour.
I've definitely heard that.
I like how it's Allen Road. I'm like, of course there
Yeah.
would be traffic and an accident on Allen Road.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was also that was the first ever traffic report we've ever had on our show. Isn't
It
that crazy?
was. It was.
that's cool.
One last question, because I'm really curious.
Sure.
Do you have to create your own script, or is everything improvised based off of what's happening?
Well, we do. We have a team that we're a team of broadcasters, all of us on air. We compile all the information together from different sources, from the MTO, from Toronto Traffic Services, the police, whatever like that, and all that. Toronto Fire as well, and we share it all together. We create our own scripts from that, and we're responsible for we're responsible for helping each other for that.
And what is your
cool.
thoughts on that? What is that show, that 401? The show on TV based off the traffic or the accidents on the 401. What are your thoughts on that show?
It's an interesting show, definitely, to see what goes on behind the scenes of an actual crash cleanup and everything, and an investigation, because of the fact that you're driving by, you see something, and yes, you're rubbernecking some of the times. I'm guilty of that every now and then, and I know I told people not to be guilty of that, but so. That's on me. Anyway, that's a shout out to somebody you might have seen recently on Wrestling. Anyway, that's on me.
Oh,
R-Truth.
I love R-Truth. Oh yeah.
Yes.
He's great.
But yeah, but to know that there's a huge process that goes along with that, especially with the forensics team that comes in and figures out what happened during these big crashes or something like that, and what people tell to the police to aid their investigations, and it's a very interesting way to go to see what goes on behind those scenes.
It's like a whole other perspective of what you do on a day-to-day. That's why I was like, I wonder what your thoughts are on it.
Exactly, and I mean, there's also the idea that maybe if I was involved in something, I wouldn't want to have that investigation broadcast to the world or anything like that. Personally speaking, that's just me. I wouldn't want that to happen. But I mean, there are people out there who allow their footage to be broadcast in that way, and good on them, especially if they get paid for it.
I've never heard of this. I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's like all the accidents that happen, not all the accidents, but because the 401 is so dangerous, they have especially if there's a snowstorm and a truck is tipped over, then they
there's a TV show that documents the whole cleanup of
when
that
I'm
crash?
bored and it's on, I watch it. I'm not gonna lie, I do watch it.
Never even heard of it.
What's
What's it called?
Rescue 401 or something like that.
Something along those lines.
Let me check.
Oh, interesting.
But anyways, I just wanted to know.
Interesting. All right. Anyway, links are in the description where you can follow Lex on all the stuff. Lex Tan Media, and all the others will be there down below. So click on those.
Heavy Rescue 401.
Heavy Rescue.
Not a plug-in for the show, but
well,
or for Lex, but.
Regine, where can people find you?
You all can find me on my YouTube channel for The Pageant Sit Down, where we do go live. It's been a while since we've been live, but don't hold me to it. It's a busy time of life. We go live and interview pageant queens, pageant fanatics, Scott. You can find it all on my YouTube channel. Link is in the description. You can follow me on Instagram or TikTok at It's Regine Alaina. And yeah.
Nice.
Or if you want pageant coaching, because it is pageant season, you can find me on Instagram at pageantcoaching.reginealaina. Scott, where can people find you?
You can find me right here where you're watching this very video, youtube.com/scottdionbrown. That's where you get the show. It's where you get the music. It's where you get the gaming. It's where you get the vlogs, all of it. youtube.com/scottdionbrown. It's the best place to find me there. You can also find me on Instagram and X at Scott Dion Brown. You can find me on TikTok at Scott Dion Brown Official. I don't post on there that often, but it's there. These are all satellites, though, for the YouTube channel. youtube.com/Scott Dion Brown is the best place. Also, please follow the show. The Sit Down with SDB on TikTok. The Sit Down with SDB on Insta. Sit Down Scott on X. The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown on Facebook and Spotify as well. Other podcast platforms, find us there. And if you haven't yet, please hit the like on this video, subscribe, and all that goodness.
So our viewers know, yes, Scott is traveling, but that doesn't mean that we won't have shows. So we hope you enjoy.
So yeah, next few weeks are going to be pre-taped episodes.
Yes, just a disclaimer.
But you know
they're
what?
all great.
They're
so
all
make
fantastic.
Sure you tune in because we will be in the chats. At least I will be.
And I will try to be. I probably will be.
So make sure you tune in, support the show, support Lex and his show. I was gonna say if you needed a guitarist, you can ask him, or you can ask him. One of them. They're great.
Boom.
They're both great singers.
They're
both great guitarists. Go for it. They're both great piano players. Y'all are like the same person.
I mean, similar. Resumes, I guess.
Similar talents.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. It's probably why we got along. There you go.
Definitely.
And tune in for Lex's
7 o'clock tonight.
7 o'clock. Maybe Scott will show up one day if he hasn't already. Check it out.
Sweet. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This won't be the last, I promise.
Awesome.
We got to get Taylor. Taylor, I know you're watching. When you come back to Toronto, let us know. We'll make it happen.
Talk wrestling.
Take my spot.
Talk wrestling for a whole special 3-hour episode.
Take my spot.
We'll figure it out. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. We will see you all next time. Lex, we'll let you end the show. You can say your goodbyes and then grab that mug and you can kind of cheers it at the camera to end it. The way I cheersed out, you can cheers, or cheersed in, you cheers out. So we'll say bye-bye, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Hit like, hit subscribe, all that business. Lex, take it away.
Take care, everybody. And hey, we Ringside Heat, that's where you can find me. We remember the things that you forgot. And remember, the Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown and It's Regine Alaina. They're great. They're awesome. And
we are.
and here we go. As you did earlier, Scott. Da, 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 da.